Okay. All right.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Wishing everyone a very, very happy Mother's Day. This is such a, even though it is not in our Vaishnava calendar, this is such a significant day because it gives us an opportunity to honor. It gives us an opportunity to honor so many women who have been not just mothers, but exhibit motherly nature by nurturing, taking care of us, and supporting us. So today's the day to appreciate all of them. Very excited today that our Sunday class is going to be given by a very, very special devotee. Today's class is given by Mahabhava Rasaraj Murti Das. Many of us know him as Vijay Krishna still, and at least I can say I have not yet used to calling him my initiated name yet. And he is the son of His Grace Ramajay Prabhu and Her Grace Lalita Madhvi Dasi, and the brother of Kitamrita. Important to acknowledge that relationship also. Most of us, and I don't want to embarrass him too much because we want to give him time for his class, but I've known him since he was, how old are you now?
16.
So I've known him since he was 4. So 4 years old, when he was this, I have pictures of him dancing. Is that when y'all moved to Austin, right? 4 years ago, dancing to the Mayapuri in their house, with like just all over wild. And he always had so much of love for Kirtan. And to see this young devotee blossom from there to where he is today on the class, the journey, to witness that journey, I'm sure for parents has been very, very special. But I know for all of us who feel like we're a part of this journey, it has been very special as well. So this is first of, I am sure, many classes
you want to hear?
at our temple and in future. So we're very excited. This is your first in-person class or you've done online. So this is his first in-person class.
Should I send you the links?
In front of his birth mother and so many of his other supportive mothers. So it's a big pressure, right? So let's give a huge round of applause to welcome.
So I'm very humbled to be here, firstly. As many of you know, there can be no discussion today if there's no audience. So first and foremost, the glory goes to all of you who have decided to come and to hear Krishna Katha. You see, even if the speaker doesn't arrive on time, or if the speaker doesn't come, another person can get up here and speak for the full 50 minutes. But if there's no audience, then what discussion will we have? So first and foremost, I'd like to ask for all of your blessings so that I can speak things in the right spirit today, that things can come out of my mouth as they were intended to. And if there are any mistakes, please forgive me. I'm still learning. But with that, we'll begin. In our Vaishnava tradition, we always start off with Mangalacharan prayers. So we'll begin with that today. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Tadamayam Rati Swavadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatanvitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopeshwa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vayevacha Paditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Well, as all of you know, today is Mother's Day. And to begin, would anyone like to, now's your chance in front of a seating of 40 some people, to glorify your mother out loud? Would anyone like to do that?
My mom is so awesome.
Very well.
Very well.
This one.
Murti got one.
That's okay. You can go for multiple.
She is very special to me.
As you can tell, oh, yes, bro.
My mom is my first teacher, and she's also a teacher, so it's
That's even better. Yes, Idam.
My mom is my first guru and she will teach me the best one.
I concur. So today's Mother's Day. Today is about appreciating those that are closest to all of us, our mothers. And I thought, as we know, we're aware of all the sacrifices that mothers have made in this world, all the pain they suffered to just bring us in this world firstly, and then raising us after was even worse. Even understanding all of that and seeing my mom go through that and various other great moms go through that, I thought, what better way of celebrating Mother's Day than to talk about the mothers that shaped the life of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan Shri Krishna. So today, I'll try to speak a little something on the various mothers that Bhagavan Shri Krishna has and try to determine which one can we take instruction from the most. So today I will attempt to do that. So I said mothers, didn't I? In fact, in our Shastra, there's described to be 7 types of mothers. And I'll go over the 7 types of mothers. You can find, if you want to find a Srimad Bhagavatam, it's found in the purport of Canto 7, Chapter 12, Text 8. Srila Prabhupada briefly goes over what Chanakya Pandit describes as the 7 types of mothers. So I'll try to recite this verse. Please repeat every line after me. Atmamata Guroh Patni Brahmani Rajapatnika Dhenur Dhatri Tata Prithvi Saptaita Matarah Smritah. Chanakya Pandit says, Atma Mata, that mother, that is our original mother, that brought our Atma into this world. Our Atma is eternal. Yes. Which brought it into this human form so that we can perform seva. That's Atma Mata. That's our first mother, our original mother, our birth mother. Second, Groho Patni, the wife of our Guru. She is also a mother. Someone that we should aspire to take shiksha from. Third, Brahmani, the wife of the Brahmanas. Fourth, Rajapatnika, the wife of who? Rajas, kings, right? The rulers, the ruling class. Dhenur. Does anyone know what Dhenu means? Cow, mother cow. Dhatri. In Hindi we call that Dhai. Anyone know? The caregiver. She's like the nurse that raises the child. And Tatha, Prithvi, Mother Earth. Saptaita, these 7, Mataraha Smritaha, are known as our mothers. Mohit, would you like to read?
His mothers are the original mother, the wife of the teacher or spiritual master, the wife of the Brahmana, the king's wife, the cow, the nurse, and the earth.
So let's start by looking at these 7 mothers that Lord Bhagavan Shri Krishna has. All beautiful and amazing in their own right. We'll go over them quite briefly in the interest of time. But we'll start here with Guroho Patni. Does anyone know who Krishna's guru was? Sandipani Muni. Does anyone know what his wife's name was? Thought so. It's okay. It's actually very rarely mentioned in Shastra. But her name is Sumukhi Devi. And as you can see here, she's on the right hand side of that photo. And Sandipani Muni is behind Krishna over there. There are various pastimes you can find in which she is referred to as Sandipani Muni's wife. But she is one of Krishna's gurus, and because she was Sandipani Muni's wife, and Nanda Maharaja's whole household, the whole Nandagram, had their collective guru of the house be Sandipani Muni, she also was the mother of everyone born in that lineage. So the first mother that Bhagwan Shri Krishna had was Sandipani Muni's wife, whose name is Sumukhi Devi. Second mother, Brahmani. Now, there are many Brahmanas that resided in Vrindavan during that time. There are many Brahmanis. But the Acharyas point one out in specific. This is Purnamasi Devi. Has anyone been to Purnamasi Devi's temple in Vrindavan? It's very beautiful. So, in Govinda Lilamrita and Radha Krishna Gurundesh Deepika is where Purnamasi's role as a mother is talked about a lot. So first and foremost, Purnamasi is actually Sandipani Muni's mother. So firstly, there's a connection to her that way. That Nanda Maharaja's household, once again, respects her because she is part of that family that advises them on what to carry out at what time, what pujas to do, all that. There is that, firstly. She is described as being a little tall, being fair in complexion, having smooth white hair. And she is described in Govinda Lilamrita and Radhakrishna Gunadesh Deepika as a bright full moon that resembles the transcendental love of Krishna. She's described as a walking, glowing full moon that is that walking love of Krishna and that Vatsalya Bhav. And finally, she is described to be residing in Domilivan, which is one of the forests of Vrindavan. So that's a little bit about Purnamasi Devi. But there's an even deeper meaning for Purnamasi Devi. You see, to have any pastime possible in Vrindavan, Krishna needs the help of one of his best agents, that is Yogamaya Shakti. He cannot set up the circumstances for his, milan with Radharani or with any of his pastimes. If it weren't for the bidding of Yogamaya Devi, who sets all this together. Purnamasi is Yogamaya Devi in Vrindavan's, Murti. She is the personification of Yogamaya Shakti in Vrindavan. Purnamasi does everything that Krishna requires to make his leelas possible. So while Krishna is in front of the curtain, performing his pastimes so that we can see, behind the curtain there's one more person, that's Purnamasi Devi. She's making everything possible for Krishna, understanding his desire as a mother. So next, we get to Rajapatnika. So, does anyone know the kingdom that Nandagaon fell under when Krishna was appeared? Mathura, right? Which was headed by the Yadu dynasty at the time. Now, interestingly, Kamsa is not considered to be the head of the Yadu clan at that time. Does anyone want to tell me why?
Because he imprisoned his father.
Exactly, he imprisoned his parents. In fact, if you were to go look at the lineage of the Yadu dynasty, Ugrasen Maharaj never willingly gave over the kingdom to Kamsa, right? Therefore, the Raja Patnika actually becomes Maharaj Ugrasena's wife. Does anyone know what her name is? Padmavati Devi. Padmavati Mataji, of course, knows. So, Padmavati Maharani, she and Maharaj Ugrasena were the head of the Yadu dynasty at the time. And even better, she is Krishna's mother in a different way. How? She's Krishna's grandmother, is she not? Who's Krishna's father? Vasudeva. Who's his mother? Padmavati Maharani? Yeah, Vasudeva's father. So, ultimately, she is also Krishna's grandmother. So in another way, in another respect, she's his mother. Interestingly enough, though, even Kamsa's kingdom fell under the greater influence of another Maharaj. That was the kingdom of Hastinapur. And Gandhari is also mentioned to be one of Krishna's mothers. That's why when Gandhari curses Krishna, that your Yadu clan will be finished, the same way my sons were killed off, that Krishna took it humbly. And he took it as if he's receiving those harsh words from a mother. Right? He took the curse. Krishna could have easily counter curses, but no, he takes it. And the Yadu clan is finished a few years later. So, that is Gandhari's role here. Next, we have Dhenu. And who does not know that Krishna's pastimes with the cows? Gopala, Gokula, Govinda. The prefix Go indicates that of a cow. Right? And Krishna has received all these names because of his association with cows. Right? And there are plenty of pastimes where the cows will come licking to Krishna, and everyone knows the pastimes of the cows and Krishna, so I won't go into much detail there. But the cows are also Krishna's mothers, and he definitely treats them as so. Next, Dhatri. Anyone want to take a guess at what the Acharyas, Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas, considered to be the Dhatri of Krishna? Putana. Why Putana? Anybody want to tell me? You can raise your hand. Yes. Actually speaking, our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas give much praise to Putana because she came unknowingly in the form of a mother. Actually speaking, in Srimad Bhagavatam 10 Canto 6 chapter, text 5 to 6, Shukadev Goswami describes Putana with having tied back hair, which is a thing of culture in Vedic tradition. Women having their hair tied back was a show of culture. He describes her as very attractive, with her earrings moving back and forth, and that her skin was like a mirror, and that you could see her earrings off her cheek. He also describes her as having a soft smile, and that she was captivating the minds of all the gopis. Can you imagine the gopis of Vrindavan getting their minds captivated by Putana? Now, some of our acharyas are wondering, oh, Shukadev Goswami, aren't you meant to be a brahmachari? How are you describing a woman like this? Are not supposed to describe an unchaste woman like this? But Shukadev Goswami in his heart reveals that actually I'm describing her in this way because I understand Krishna's about to let her have the role of being a mother. And eternally after Putana was slain on this planet, she's been given the eternal role of being Krishna's Dhatri. So therefore, in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, we consider Putana to be the primary Dhatri of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Even though she came to feed poisonous milk, she still came to nurse Krishna. And therefore, our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas consider her to be the topmost. Finally, Prithvi, Mother Earth. It is described in Shastra that when Krishna used to crawl in the backyard of Nanda Maharaj's palace, that actually, in a poetic way, Krishna is actually rubbing the back of Mother Earth, saying that I know you have had to endure so much for so many years. A lot of demons have come and gone. Kali Yuga is about to come. I know what you have endured. But don't worry, dear mother. I'm here. I'm here now. Interestingly, though, Prithvi also has a direct connection to Krishna as his mother-in-law. How? Does anyone know? It is his Sita. Yes. Who Krishna in his previous life was whom? Ram. Who was Ram's wife? Sita. Who was Sita's mother? Prithvi. So, in this way, Krishna's mother-in-law is also Prithvi. And that way, he has another mother, both, through her being Mother Earth, but also directly through marriage. But the question then comes up, and this is where our acharyas have a bit of a dilemma. Okay, we've gone through 6 types of mothers, but the first mother, who is she? Who is Atma Mata? You can see on the left-hand side, you have Devaki and Krishna. On the right-hand side, you have Yashoda Maya and Krishna. Does anyone want to tell me who Krishna was born from? Which one of these 2 mothers? Devaki. Correct? In Srimad Bhagavatam, it's given saf. Right? It's given right there in Srimad Bhagavatam that she came from the heart of Devaki. However, dear devotees, our Vaishnava acharyas actually disagree with all of you. They say no, there's no way she's born from Devaki. He's actually born from Yashoda Maya. We'll go a little bit into that. To understand the logic of our acharyas, as given in Gopal Champu, you can find the book, Gopal Champu, they go through the timeline of the pregnancy of these 3 mothers that existed in Vrindavan. First, you have Rohini Devi, who actually used to live in Mathura. And she was pregnant with her first child for 3 months. And this child is not mentioned because he never fructified, so his name is not given there. But she carried a child in Mathura for 3 months. After which, Maharaj Vasudev, he told her to go to Nandagaon so that she could be protected from Kamsa, because he was afraid Kamsa might do something. So she enters Gokula, and for another 4 months, she carries this baby. During the same amount of time that these 7 months were going on, Devaki was pregnant for 7 months. How? Balaram became her womb to protect it from Kamsa at that time. Balaram didn't go in the womb. He was the womb, protecting any future child that will come, because he knows, the Lord is going to appear soon. So for 7 months, he stays in the mother. He stays as the womb of Devaki. After those 7 months are over, Rohini's womb actually gets destroyed through natural reasons, and Balaram enters Rohini's womb so that she can still have a child. So this is how Balaram is actually born from Rohini Devi. Now, in Gopal Champu, there's a very interesting thing that's noted. It mentions how 2 mothers were pregnant for 8 months at a time with the same child. You start off with Yashoda Mai. So, Krishna and Yogamaya Shakti both enter Yashoda Mai right when this transfer happens. From Balaram goes from Devaki to Rohini Devi. And Krishna enters as Nanda Nandana, as his roop in Vrindavan. At the same time, Vasudev, but he enters Devaki's womb for those same 8 months. And that is why when the 2 mothers gave birth, it was at a very close time. However, it wasn't just a close time. Shastra describes it was the exact same time they both gave birth. We run into a slight problem here with all those that said Devaki is the only mother. Right? We run into a slight problem because the time is given to be exactly at the same time. But Srimad Bhagavatam tells a different story. Please follow after me. Tatascha shorir bhagavat prachodita sutam samadaya sasutika grahat yada bahirgantum tarhiyaja ya yoga maya janinanda jayaya. Satvik, do you want to read?
Thereafter, exactly when Vasudeva, being inspired by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was about to take the newborn child from the delivery room, Yogamaya, the Lord's spiritual energy, took birth as a daughter of the wife of Maharaj Nanda.
Stop. Srila Rupa Goswami notices something here. He says there's a slight problem. You see, Shastra describes that both Yashoda Mai and Devaki gave birth at the exact same time. Except you can read the verse for yourself. Srila Rupa Goswami says there's a gap of a few hours. You see, by the time Krishna had come to Devaki and described, I'm the Supreme Personality of Godhead, blah, 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 Krishna enters, right? The womb, and he is born. He is being taken out of the delivery room while Yashoda Mai gives birth right then. And Rupa Goswami says this is a few hour difference. There is. So then how can Shastra say 2 children were born at the exact same time? Well, he explains that, dear devotees, Yashoda Mai that night gave birth to twins. That night, she didn't give birth to one child, she gave birth to 2 children. One at the exact same time Devaki gave birth, and once a few hours later, that is being described here. How? Well, Srila Rupa Goswami describes that there were 2 Krishnas born. One from Devaki, one from Yashoda Mai. And when Maharaj Vasudeva goes to Vrindavan and he gives the newborn baby Krishna over to Nanda Maharaj, there's a famous story in which Yashoda Mai in her sleep rolls over. The Krishna that was just born next to her falls into the other Krishna and they both become one in Vrindavan. And when Krishna leaves Vrindavan, how do you think the Gopas and Gopis can be alive without their Krishna? What is keeping them going? Because they kind of kept another Krishna. You can have this one. You can have the Vasudeva Krishna. We'll keep our Nanda Nandana. So at that time, 2 Krishnas appeared again. So this is what is described in Shastra about this. So somebody might ask, what is the qualification of Mother Yashoda? See, to understand how great something is, we need a kind of a reference point. Is anyone familiar with the TOVP Mandir being built in Mayapur, Temple of Vedic Planetarium? When I first found out that it is 3 times the size of the Taj Mahal, I really understood how big it was. Right? Has anyone here been to the Taj Mahal? Or at least seen it, heard about it? When you have a reference point, it's easy to understand something that is much greater in comparison. So here, Srimad Bhagavatam attempts to do the exact same thing. Please follow after me. Nemam virincho na bhavo na shirapyanga samshaya prasadham lebhire gopi yatat prapa vimuktidat. Nemam, na imam, not that. Prasadam lebhire, not that they had received this prasad. Who didn't receive this prasad? Virincho. Virinchi is another name for Brahma. Na Virincho. Na Bhavo, nor the husband of Bhavani. Bhavani is who? Durga Devi was also Parvati Devi. The husband of Parvati Devi is Lord Shiva. So neither Brahma, the creator, received this prasad, nor the destroyer, Lord Shiva. Neither of those two received this prasad. Na Shrir, who is Shri? Lakshmi, the eternal consort of the Lord. That Apyanga Samshaya resides on the Anga of the Lord eternally. He resides on the body. She resides on the body. Oh wow! Who has received a prasad that these 3 have not? You have the Creator, you have the Lord's greatest devotee, Lord Shiva, and you have the eternal consort of the Lord, Lakshmi. It's described prasadam lebhire. This prasad they did not receive, but who received it? Gopi, Yashoda Mai. Yattat prapa, she had prapt karna. She had received this from who? Vimuktidat, he who gives mukti to this entire universe. Let's have Sanket. Can you read it?
Neither Lord Brahma nor Lord Shiva, nor even the goddess of fortune, who is always the better half of the Supreme Lord, can obtain from the Supreme Lord of Godhead. The deliverer of from this material world, such mercy as received by Mother Yasoda.
Jai. Now our Vaishnava acharyas are not done here. Now they're asking the question, okay, Yashoda Mai might be getting a better connection or a better relationship with Lord Krishna than these 3 individuals. But Lord Krishna is still Lord Krishna. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So they ask the question, who is more worshipable, Yashoda or Krishna? Someone want to answer this question for me? Yashoda. Why?
She was able to bound Krishna.
The acharyas give very straightforward logic. You see, Bhagavan Krishna, to support himself, uses very crooked logic. He himself is Tribhanga. He stands in a threefold bent form. But our acharyas are very straightforward with Lord Krishna. They use very straightforward logic. Please follow after me. Yashodaya samanasti devatat kapi bhutale ulukhale yaya bhado mukti do muktamichyati. There is no deity on this earth equal to Mother Yasoda, bound by her to a mother, even the great giver of liberation. We were talking about Vimuktidat, another name of Krishna, the great giver of liberation, named Mukunda, prays for liberation. He is praying for liberation, and that is God. This is given by Sri Vamshidhar. He's a commentator on the Srimad Bhagavatam. He has compiled the commentaries of Sridhar Swami and Valadev Vidyabhushan and others. What's interesting here is that only Bhagwan Shri Krishna can exhibit more fear as God. You see, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna describes himself to Mother Yasoda, reverse roles. He says, Madbhayat vati vatoyam surya tapati madbhayat varshat indro dahat agni mrityor chariti madbhayat. He says, Madbhayat, out of fear of me, vati vatoyam, the wind blows. Surya tapati madbhayat, and the sun blazes out of fear of me. Varshat indro, and Indra gives rain. Why? Madbhayat, out of fear of me. Dahat Agni, and Agni, who is the witness to all yagyas, all sacrifices. Is that not true? Agni is the witness. Whenever you start a yagya, you declare that Agni is the witness to that yagya. He performs his duty. Why? Out of fear of me. Mad bhayat. And even mrityor charati mad bhayat. That death that everyone is afraid of. Is somebody raise their hand if they're not afraid of death, at least a little bit. Mrityor charati mad bhayat. Even that death personified, Yamaraj, who goes house to house to house to house, taking lives from people, giving them the appropriate punishment. Even he performs his duty that puts other into fear. Why? Because he is fearful of me. That's what Lord Krishna is declaring. And now the acharyas are saying, okay, look, Lord Krishna, look at who's crying now. Look at who has the black kajal coming down. Asu bere. He's bound up and he's praying for liberation from who? Oh, what a great person must that Mother Yasoda be. So today, dear devotees, that was the end of the introduction, technically. We are discussing about Yashoda Mai, as you can see in this picture. So I thought today that I would like to share some small sweet pastimes with you that various acharyas. I'll go to the lengths of every acharya, even Hari Suri ji will be in there. So would you guys like to hear some stories that the acharyas describe? So this is our first short story that has been composed. This is in the meter Shadula Vikriditam. You might recognize this meter. Please try to follow after me. Ardonmilita lochanasya pibata paryaptamekam stanam. Ardonmilita lochanasya pibata paryaptamekam stanam. Sadyah prashnuta dugdha dibdamaparam hastena sammarjata. Sadyah prashnuta dugdha dibdamaparam hastena sammarjata. Matra changuli lalitasya vadane smerayamane muhur. Matra changuli lalitasya vadane smerayamane muhur. Vishnu shira kanoradham madhavala dantadyuti patuva. Vishnu shira kanoradham dantadyuti patuva. Dear devotees, Krishna is drinking milk from his mother, Yashoda. Ardon milita. Ardha, half. Unmilita, opened. Lochanasya, eyes. With half opened eyes. Wasora is about to sleep. You know how babies, when they're drinking milk, they're about to sleep, right? Piba, what was he doing? Pibataha. Pirahata, he was drinking. Paryaptam ekam stanam. And the milk from one breast of Mother Yashoda was enough for him. Paryaptam ekam stanam. One stana was enough. Sadhyaha, suddenly. Prashnutta dugdha digdam aparam. He notices that on her other breast, that out of affection, Mother Yashoda is giving dugdha digdam. Dudh, it means dugdam, right? Milk. Digdam, a stream is coming. And he notices this. And he realizes he doesn't want to waste any of that precious milk. Oh, no. So what does he do? Hastena samarjataha. He takes his hand and he starts smearing it on his hand as to not waste any. Now Yashoda Mai is thinking that, oh, mere bachara, my son, he is caressing me. He's trying to display affection. So even she reciprocates. Matra changuli lalitasya vadane. Matra, his mother. Changuli, cha anguli. Anguli means finger. Lalitasya vadane. She starts doing this underneath his head. Starts reciprocating back to Lord Krishna. And when Lord Krishna feels this, smerayamane muhur, a big smile appears in baby Krishna's face. What do you see when you smile, when you have that big of a smile? There's two little teeth, dear devotees. And our acharyas don't stop there. Vishnu shira kanora dhammadhavala. His teeth are described as Vishnu shira kanora dhammadhavala. Vishnu's shira kanora, his ocean of milk, dhammadhavala. There were beads of it. on his front two teeth. This can be taken to mean two things. Either his teeth were like the milk ocean, because he has milk teeth, he doesn't have wisdom teeth yet, or that the beads of milk left by him drinking resemble like milk ocean, like the milk ocean. Danta dyutihi, may the beauty of these front two teeth, patuvaha, protect you all. You want to read the translation, Nishan?
Sure. His eyes half open, Lord Vishnu drinks the milk of his mother's birth. Finishing one breast with his hand, he rubs the other, from which the milk has already begun to flow. His mother fondles him with her finger. He smiles. May the white splendor of Lord Vishnu's teeth, which are anointed with drops of milk, protect you all.
Isn't that beautiful? And how can this protect you? You know, the commentator Sri Mangala Acharya, he's saying that this image will protect you. Well, actually, as one of my Shiksha gurus likes to say, these are like paintings we should keep in our heart. And if you remember this painting at the time of your death, you'll be freed from the cycle of samsara, old age, birth, disease, all of that. Would you guys like to hear another such short composition? All right, let's play a game of Yasoda Says. This is like a bit like Simon Says. It's a warning to all those that know about it and are young enough like me to know that game. So, this is in a very interesting meter. The meter is called Ratodatta Chanda. Try to follow after me. It might be a little difficult. Kwananam kwanayanam kwanasika. Kwashrutihi kvarshashiketi deshitah. Tatra nihitanguli dalo. Ballavi kulamanandayat prabhu. In Sanskrit, you see the word kwa come quite a bit at the beginning. Kwa means where in Sanskrit. And ananam means face. The gopis are asking Krishna, Kwananam, where's your face? Where is your face? Kwanayanam, where are your eyes? Kwanasika, where's your nose? Kwashrutihi, that instrument in which you used to shrutir, hear. Where is that? Where are your ears? Kwachashikheti, and where is your shikha, the back portion of your head? Deshitaha, they were giving these adesh to Krishna. All of them surrounding Krishna, they were giving these adesh, they were giving these instructions to Krishna. And tatra nihitanguli dalo, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, God Himself, tatra, idar udar, He was putting His finger, trying to match what they were saying. Nihitanguli dalo, He was anguli dal raha tha. Nihitanguli, anguli. With His finger, He was trying to reach those spots. Right? Ballavi kulamanandayat prabhu. Ballavi kul. Ballavi is another name for the gopis. Kul, their whole group. Anandayat, He was giving them ananda. Who was giving ananda? Prabhu. He was giving them happiness. Sakshi Prabhu. Do you want to read? Do you want to read?
Okay. The gopis headed by Mother Yasoda asked, where is your face? Where are your ears? Where is your nose? Where are your ears? Where is the top of your head? With each question, the Lord placed his flower-coated finger in the appropriate spot. In this way, the infant Lord delighted the gopis.
And this is given by Sri Kavi Sarvabhaumacharya. We're not done, dear devotees. I might go a couple minutes over if that's okay. If I have your blessings to do so. If you would like to hear more such nectar. Okay. So let me set the scene for you real quick. Krishna is about to go to sleep, and Yashoda Mai has him on her lap, and she's about to tell her a bedtime story. This is after Krishna got excited. Mind you, Krishna is going to sleep. So Krishna just finished crying, and he was about to go sleep. And at this time, our acharyas compose a very beautiful verse describing how the Supreme Personality of Godhead dreams. Does God dream? Well, they've answered this question to us. Please try to follow after me. It's in the same meter, Shardula Vikriditam. Shambho Swagatamasyatamita ito Vamena Padmodbhava. Swagatamasyatamita ito Vamena Kronchare Kushalam Sukham Surapate Vitteshano Drishyase. Viteshano Drishyase. Ittam Vapnagatasya Kaithabaripo Shrutva Jananya Gira. Oh, Shrutva Jananya Gira. Kim Kim Balaka Jalpasityanuchitam Thu Thu Kritam Patuva. And yes, we did say that last line correctly, and I'll go over why. Shambho Swagatam Asyatam Mitaito Vamena Padmodbhava. Krishna is dreaming. The Supreme Personality of God is dreaming. What is he dreaming? That he's the king, he's become the king of heaven. Baby Krishna is dreaming that yes, I'm now king of heaven. Shambho Swagatam. Shambho, Lord Shiva, Swagat hai aapka. You're welcome here. You're welcome. Asyatam Ita Ito. Sit down, sit down. He's indicating to his right side. Sit down, sit down. Ita Ito. Idhar baitho. Sit right here. Vamena Padmodbhava. And Padmodbhava, does anyone know who has the name Padmodbhava? Brahma, who was born from a Padma, lotus flower. Padmodbhava, Vamena, on my left side. Padmodbhava, Betho, sit down. Have your seat. Kronchare. Kronchare is the killer of the Kroncha demon. Who was that? Kartikeya. Kushalam. Everything is okay? Na? Sab khushi se hai? Is everything okay? Sukham Surapate. And Surapate, who is the actual king of heaven, Indra. Surapate, such sukh mein hai. And Indra is probably thinking at this time, this guy just took my throne. Probably not. And you remember, Indra forgot who Krishna was around this time. So, Sukham Surapate, Vittesha no Drishyase. Vitta means money, Sanskrit. Who's the treasurer of the demigods? Kuber. No Drishyase. I don't see you around now these days. No Drishyase. I haven't seen you around. You know, where have you gone? Did you take a vacation or something? So, Lord Krishna is greeting all of these Mahatmas that are coming into his palace. Ittamavapna gatasya kaithavaripo. In this way, avapna gatasya, he was dreaming, he was sleeping, dear devotees. Kaithavaripo. That's another name for Krishna. The enemy of the Kaithava demon. Shrutva Jananya Gira. And Shrutva, who is listening? Jananya. Mother Yasoda. Gira. And she begins to say, Kim Kim Balaka Jalpa Sityanuchitam. Kim, what are you saying? Kim, what are you saying? Balaka, what are you saying? Jalpa Sityanuchitam. Ye anuchit baat kya bol rahe aap? Faltu baat hai. Faltugiri kar rahe, as you say in Gujarati. Right? So, what is this child saying? What are you saying? Tu. He's trying to wake him up. Tu. Kritam patuva. Let these waking words of Mother Yasoda protect you all. Tu kritam patuva. Now, interestingly enough, tu also has a different meaning. Has anyone seen their mother or in any part of the family go tu? I know my mother does it. You've heard. There's actually a praman for it. Here you go. Mother Yasoda is the praman. The idea being that repeating the syllable keeps away all inauspiciousness from the child. And she realizes that what her child did could incur sin. That he's thinking he's the king of heaven, that Indra might get upset. So to protect him, she's going tu. As in nazar utarne mein, like as we say. So, does somebody want to read the translation? Rishi, you want to go? All right, go for it.
Hearing sleeping Krishna say, Shiva, welcome, sit down. Brahma, sit at my left. Kartikeya, auspiciousness to you. Indra, happiness to you. Kuvera, I did not see you. Mother Yashoda said, "Child, what nonsense are you saying? I pray that these words of Mother Yashoda protect you all."
This is from Sri Mayura Acharya. And we go on. Vaishnavacharyas will keep giving their stories. This is when Krishna is about to go to sleep, and Mother Yashoda is telling him a bedtime story. How many of us have heard bedtime stories at some point in our life when we were younger? Mother Yashoda is doing the same thing as a mother. This is in the same meter, Shardula Vikriditam. Please try to follow after me. Ramo nama babhuvahum tadabala sitetaham tam pitur. Ramo nama babhuvahum tadabala sitetaham tam pitur. Vacha panchavati vane nivasatastasya harad ravana. Vacha panchavati vane nivasatastasya Krishna yeti puratanim nijakatam akarnya matra ritam. Krishna yeti puratanim akarnya matra ritam. Saumitre kvatanur dhanur dhanuriti vyagrah kirah pantuvah. Saumitre kvatanur dhanuriti Ramo Nama Babhuvaham. So Mother Yashoda is saying, she's putting Krishna to sleep this time around, because it's gotten late. And she says, Rama Nama Babhuva. Once upon a time, Babhuva, there was a great king named Rama. And Krishna is like, You can see right there. He's saying, Tad Abala. And his wife was Sita. And Krishna goes again, Not interested. He wants to go to sleep. And Tampitur Bacha Panchavati Bane. And what does Lord Rama's father do? He sends them to which forest? Panchavati. He sends them to the Panchavati forest, right? Out of the Vakya, from his speech, they go to the Panchavati forest. And while Nivasatas, while wo nivas kar rahi thi in the forest, while she was staying in the forest, Sita Devi, Satyaharant, somebody haran kiya uska, somebody kidnapped her. Who? Ravana. Now, our Acharya describes Krishna yeti puratanim nija katham. Krishna listening to his puratanim, his old, nija katham, his story about himself. Listening to this, akarnya matra ritam. Oh, suddenly something happens, dear devotees. He starts yelling all of a sudden, Sumitra ke putra, Lakshman. Ko dhanur, where's my bow? Iti, vyagra girah pantuva. May these anxious words of Bhagwan Shri Krishna please protect you. Somebody wanna read?
There was once a king named Rama. Yes. His wife was Sita. Yes. On the order of his father, Rama lived in the Panchavati forest. There, Ravana kidnapped Sita. As Lord Krishna heard his mother narrate his own activities performed in ancient times, he suddenly called out, Lakshmana, where is my bow? Where is my bow? Where is my bow? I pray that these alarmed words of Lord Krishna may protect all.
Jai. Okay. So the next one is Hari Suriji. Do we have time for that? All right. So, Yashoda Mai teaches us a very important lesson. What is this lesson? You might be asking. Well, during the pastime of Putana, when Putana has been slain, and Krishna is crawling on the body of Putana, right? All the gopis come and are so alarmed. They're like, Kya Krishna ko kuch nahi hua hai? Like, is he okay? Right? They're checking if his body is hurt. And they immediately, to protect him, bathe him at once and start applying tilak. So, Hari Suriji sees something very interesting here. Would you guys like to hear that?
Yes.
Bhagavan stvad-apekshayapi Shakti-stvan namni prabheta manmahe tri jagat krita rakshanasya tepi yad bhudrakshanakari gokule. Or you can also sing this in the same way you sing Shikshashtakam. Dun 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 da 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 da. No. The Darvanamajanam Bhavama Bhagwan Svadapeksha. Okay. Anyways. I forgot it for the moment. Please forgive me. But essentially speaking, Hari Suriji notices the following. He says, Bhagwan, oh hey Bhagwan, Swadapekshayami. In comparison to you what? Shakti Stvanamni Prabheta Manmahe. It is my opinion that your name is more powerful than you. That is my opinion. Why? Tri Jagat Krita Rakshanasya. Yeah, it may be true that you protect the three worlds. It may be true. Tepi. Yad Bhudrakshanakari Gokule. But in Gokula, your names are used to protect you. How? Because when the gopis were putting on tilak, what do you say when you put on tilak on your body? Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namaha, Om Narayanaya Namaha. They were using Krishna's name to protect Krishna. Hari Suriji says, yeah, in Kali Yuga, I see which one's more powerful. It's definitely your names. So, somebody want to read this? Can I go, Prabhu?
Oh Lord, in your comparison, I believe your name has more strength. You protect the three worlds. But these names of yours protect even you in Gokula.
Haribo. So now next time somebody asks you, what is more powerful, Krishna Nam or Krishna? What do we say? Krishna Nam. Okay, finally. Why are we doing this today in the first place? Why are we glorifying this relationship between Krishna, Yashodamai and Krishna? Well, this too has been given, dear devotees. Aho bir na kaler viduyate. Aho bir na kaler viduyate. Sudha sudhara maduram pade pade. Sudha sudhara maduram pade pade. Dine dini chandana chandra sitalam. Dine dini chandana chandra sitalam. Yasho yashoda tanayasya giyate. Yasho yashoda tanayasya giyate. One who daily sings the glories of Yashoda's son, Krishna, which are cooling as sandalwood in camphor, is not troubled by the days of Kali Yuga. For him, at every step, there is a torrential flood of the sweetest nectar. Not troubled. Kali Yuga is here, dear devotees. This is a wake-up call for us. That every day, someone who describes this relationship between Yashoda Mai and Bhagwan Shri Krishna is not bothered by what? All the problems that we get in this Kali Yuga. And finally, dear devotees, I would like to end with a very humble prayer on my end to all of you. Yat atra skalitam kinchid. Yat atra. If there was skalitam, any mistake, kinchid. There was any mistake that I had made today. Vidvamshaha, all of you are very learned. Puriyantu tat. Please complete the mistake that I have made. I may have made many mistakes today. I admitted one very openly about reciting the verse. Please forgive me, I'm still learning, and I need your blessings to move forward in my spiritual journey. Yad atra shaustavam kinchit. And if there was anything that you liked, even if it was one syllable that I recited, if there was anything you liked and you kept to your heart, tad gurur eva me nahi. It belongs to my gurus. Eva me nahi, not me. So, with that, dear devotees, I'll conclude. I believe my time is far past over. But thank you for all of y'all bearing with us.
Thank you so much, Mahabhava, Rasaraj, Murti Das, Prabhu, for such a spectacular class. Let's give another round of applause. The class is a proof to not, sometimes as a speaker when we sit there, it's very easy to listen to the class but not look at the amount of preparation that kind of goes behind this class, and I know how much of prep must have taken to get verses from all over to be able to share today. So thank you so much for the class. We have about maybe 5 more minutes before we get ready for Aarti. Devotees, any questions or reflections? Anything you'd like to share? Vaman Hari Prabhu?
That was excellent. There were no questions, but a comment. Before coming to the class, because the class is going to be better, Prabhu's cooking is going to be better. I don't know how much preparation Mahabhava Prabhu has done, but I know a lot of preparation, communicating, planning, and all that the Prabhu has done. I didn't find anything in Mahabhava Prabhu's class, but so far I have found the deep pardon from all the Prabhus. Several things. One is they must have cooked, but they did not prepare the plate. With all their IT knowledge, they could not set up the computer for the speakers. they did not do the flower level. They did not do the announcement. I'm sure their preparations are good, but I still testing. We'll find out.
I was actually going to repeat what Vaman Hari Prabhu said because everyone cannot hear, but I'm very embarrassed to repeat it. So I will not. But please ask Vaman Hari Prabhu what he said to understand. Or maybe I will try to repeat it, but actually, no, I won't repeat it. It's very awkward. But thank you so much, Vaman Hari Prabhu, for that. Thank you for that. Any devotees have any questions, comments, reflections?
Was it that boring?
I think Mahabhava, you know when you eat like a dessert, a good dessert, and someone tells you, how's it? You can't tell immediately because you have to like relish it, rasa. So we're all relishing that. Tarachand Prabhu.
I just wanted to be a very small thing. So when I heard that he's going to give a class at this, this weekend, so the first thing, I was talking to the Deepika, the first thing that came to our mind is young and intelligent. So that's for sure he's very young and intelligent. And not just young and intelligent, he is very good teacher. And at his age, teaching to his audience really requires a lot of teachers. And so we wish him all the best for his future. And sure he will be very good preacher in future, I'm pretty sure. And just around 2 months back, when he got his instruction from his guru, so the guru, very smiling way, he said at the very end, keep up that name boy, very smiling way. I'm pretty sure today we have witnessed that he will keep his, name as Mahabhava Rasaraj. So
thank you. Please pray for me.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, and
Yeah, please pray for me. Thank you. Thank you. I was actually. All right. Thank you. Actually, I was going to respond to what Tarachand Prabhu said, that I need all of your blessings because my Guru Dev had given me one instruction when he had given me my name. He told me that one day you're going to be a very nice preacher, but you need to get there. And that you're going to need all the blessings that you can get. And he said, like Prabhuji said, you better live up to that name, boy. That's what he had told me. That he gave me that name so that, I can preach. So please bless me so that I can live up to my Guru Dev's instruction. And that, I can continue taking this mission. If there's any last questions, I would say probably take them now.
Very good. Stop the share. Keep the Zoom on.
Oh, there's a couple of chats.
Oh yeah, could you?
Oh, Kamala Gopi Devi Dasi would like to, or Kamala Gopi Dasi would like to ask a question. You can unmute yourself here. Right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Should we just?
Okay. I can hear that loud.
Okay, yeah. Go ask your question.
Okay, Hare Krishna, Mahabhava, Rasaraj, Murti. Prabhu, it was a wonderful lecture, very inspiring. I had a question regarding when you talked about how Mother Yasoda actually gave birth to Krishna, and how they like merged into one Krishna at the end. So I know that like the past time, like in her past life, Devaki had done penance to get the Lord as her son. So, and but in a sense, she didn't like directly get Krishna as her son, like in the past time you just described. So, can you explain like how, if I make sense, how like she was able to get Krishna as her son? Because you explained that Mother Yashoda actually gave birth to like the real like Krishna. If that makes sense.
So actually, what I had mentioned is that there were two Krishnas. So the question, real quick, coming off online, was that Devaki is has been described in her previous life that she asked for the son Krishna, that she prayed for, which is 100% true, and that I had mentioned that Krishna had been born from Yashoda Mai. Actually, I also said that both parents gave birth to two different Krishnas, one in the mood that Yashoda Mai wanted to serve in, one in the mood that Devaki wanted to serve in. Right? The one that we see at Mahabharata is the one that was born from Devaki. The one that is performing his Bal Leela is Bhagwan Shri Krishna, that is Nandanandana. That's what I had mentioned. And I believe as well that in their previous lives, unknowingly, they also had the Supreme Personality of Godhead as their children a few times before. And Krishna announces this when he's about to take birth. Or not take birth, but appear on this planet through Devaki. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I have a few words. Do we have time?
Yeah, please go to finish.
I just want to say a few words to Mahabhava. Such an excellent class.
You can come here. Okay, either way, sir. Or loudly. Prabhu can project his voice. He's very good at that. Anyone doesn't need microphone, Gopalchandra Prabhu can. So actor voice, Prabhu.
Such an excellent class, Mahabhava Prabhu. So I don't know where to start. Whether to talk about your Shastric knowledge, the depth of the knowledge you have, your Sanskrit scholarship, or combined with all that, your devotion and conviction in the Vedic scriptures. It's so amazing. They say, right, to know the quality of rice, all you have to taste is just 1 grain of rice. So this one lecture is just a sample, small sample of what more to come in the future. This is just the beginning. You have started your journey of preaching in this temple of ISKCON of Round Rock. I'm sure you're going to preach all over the world, at all centers. This is just the beginning. You have not only made your parents proud, but all of us proud in this temple. They say, right, when the parents feel happy when the child first opens his mouth and says Ma or Pa. They feel happier if the child says Krishna, the name of the Supreme Lord. They feel the happiest when the child makes others say Krishna. So you have done that today and you will be doing it for the rest of your life. Thank you very much.
Please pray.
We are very blessed and honored to have you as Thank you, Mahabhava.
Thank you,
Prabhu, your blessings means a lot. This was your blessing that you have said that very soon he will start giving classes at our center. That happened today.
Thank you so much, Gopalchandra Prabhu, and thank you, Mahabhava Prabhu. And before we finish, before we give another round of applause, I think it's important to acknowledge, like his parents and his family here, because whenever you have a young speaker giving a class like this, it cannot happen without the support of their parents, because we all know how it is out there, and having supportive parents actually are such an essential foundation. And today we're celebrating Mother's Day, but it's also about the mother and father that raise the child to be able to do that. So let us loudly chant the Maha Mantra, not just for Mahabhava, but for his entire family that has come together to, love this beautiful young man here to share this class today. So let's chant together for them. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much, Mahabhava, for that excellent class. We're going to get started for Aarti here in just 1 minute, but we have to make a few important announcements. We have I see a lot of new faces here. How many of you are here for the first time?